What's going on, guys? On today's show, kids, we got a great show for you. We're talking about some of the upcoming news in the NFL, and we're giving our picks for this week's NFL playoff games. So let's go.
And welcome to Trophy Kids, presented by Bad News Media. It is January the 3rd. We are in the new year, and as things change, they stay the same. The Browns have been the Browns again, and they have fired John Dorsey. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. The Browns fans, not so much, because it makes a whole lot of zero sense to me.
Yes. I mean, we recorded the Tuesday episode right before the news had come out, so it had already come out. But in that episode, I said, if they fire him, that'll be the most Browns being the Browns move I think I've ever seen. Because that man helped assemble the Chiefs, who, I don't know if you checked, they have a pretty decent roster. Then he moved on to the Browns. He's been there 2 years. Current day, the Browns have more talent on their roster than probably any time in the history of the Browns. He did fuck up a coaching hire, so okay. I think you give him a mulligan on that, though. That was one where I believe, I'm saying I believe, I probably should have checked this before I said it, but I believe Baker sort of lobbied for Freddie Kitchens. So you go, okay, I got a young quarterback. He likes this guy. Let's take a shot on him. It obviously didn't turn out well. But I still think you give him the mulligan and say, okay, you get one more because look at what you've created it from a roster perspective. Now, they still have some holes. They need an offensive line. But still, there's tons of talent everywhere. The coach was just an idiot. Like, they could have won definitely more games had they run the ball, designed plays to go to OBJ, Jarvis Landry, like to actually have a functioning offense. So this is a dumb move, I think, to clean out completely house.
I think it's very dumb. And I just saw something that they had like 5 GMs in 10 years. Like, how do you even go to the Browns as a GM anymore?
Yeah, no. How do you go to the Browns as a GM or a coach? Like, that makes no sense. Like, why would you do that? Here's the other thing that just came into my head. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. But they are now behind the eight ball on coaching hiring and GM hiring because you're going to need to hire a GM. Or I guess you could take the Jets route where you hire a coach first and then a GM, which is an odd way to go. But you got to now go out and hire a GM and then go hire a coach. And teams are already in positions. Like Carolina's looking for a coach. The Redskins have already got their guy, which is a great decision. So you're behind the eight ball even more here. It's just a dumb decision, no way you cut it.
Yeah, the only thing that this is just coming to my mind right now is the only thing that this makes sense is if they do bring in Mike McCarthy, and Mike McCarthy said that he's only coming if he can be the GM and the coach again, like he was in Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. I think McCarthy's probably going to be their guy. Greg Roman would be not a bad, I don't think, chance. I think, it would be a disaster, but I have a feeling, McCarthy seems about right. But Urban, as we talked about, I think would be a disaster. And then Josh McDaniels, I think, would also be a disaster.
Another disaster, yep.
Like, that would complete the circle of the Browns being the Browns if they hire one of those two guys.
Yes, it would. It would be the Browns all over again. And I didn't understand it because when you looked at this team on paper, like, they were a pretty decently assembled team on paper.
Yeah, and they're pretty decently assembled on the field. Like, there were some things, like, the biggest thing they need, I think, is discipline, because that was lacking in spades. That's why if they had fired Freddie Kitchens early and can get on to the hiring process, they might be hiring Ron Rivera instead of the Redskins, who got a jump start on the hiring process. Because that's really they need. First, discipline. Like, pure and simple, just discipline. Discipline in play calling and discipline in actual play. Because you saw it where in games where they were crushing it in the run game, they'd move away from it way too early and just completely go away from it. When you have probably the best backfield in all of football combined, the two of them. Or you saw it with the Bengals game. Not this recent one, but the first one. The worst run defense in the league, they didn't run the ball nearly enough. Like, they had, 4 runs at one point, halfway through the game. So it was undisciplined play calling, undisciplined play, because the players were out of control. So I think if you just bring some discipline, that automatically fixes a lot of issues. And then if you just get a half-decent line, which you can sort of build, there's some pieces there, this team's pretty good. Like, they're not where they probably should have been this year, because they should have been a lot better. But, this is not a full rebuild they have to do, but they're treating it as if they have to do a full rebuild.
Right, which makes no sense.
Yeah, like this is what the Redskins should be doing and are doing, which we'll get to in a moment. Like they need a full rebuild. The Buccaneers don't need necessarily a full rebuild. We just need to get rid of the quarterback. Your Lions need a full rebuild.
Need
It's
a
starting to
full
look like
rebuild.
like there are some
God.
teams out there that legitimately, the Miami Dolphins, they needed a full rebuild. But this team, there's talent here. There's just some
Right.
small changes you need to make.
Exactly. Hey, Martha, if you're listening to this, which I know you're not, because you're 90 years old, John Dorsey's out there.
Oh, that would be a heck of a
let's
hire.
go get him.
He's
We have
done
a
good
puppet
things.
in Bob Quinn that does nothing, who comes up to the podium, first thing he says is, I'm not going to blame injuries, but we had a lot of injuries, and then proceeds to fire the strength and conditioning coach. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think he'd be a great hire because you saw what he did in Kansas City. He hired Andy Reid, which was a great move. I don't know how you messed that up. He did a pretty decent job putting together that team. He was there until, 2017 he became the Browns. So he was there from 13 to 2016, became the Browns GM in 2017. He had a stint with the Packers, did a pretty decent job there. Like, this guy has been good. Like, he has been a good front office guy. So I think that would be a heck of a hire.
It would be awesome.
Here's the other thing we mentioned. Teams with a full rebuild. Did you catch the Dan Snyder?
I did not know.
Opened it up with Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. What is going on down in Washington? Did the training staff perform surgery on Dan Snyder?
I have no idea. I
Like,
didn't see it.
Yeah, it was incredible. One, he does not look well. Two, he
Ooh.
opened up with Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and just kept going. Like, didn't correct himself initially. But I will give it to the man. We said it on Tuesday. I'll say it again because it is impressive. The Redskins seem to be building in the right direction. They get a heck of a hire with Ron Rivera, who then hires Jack Del Rio, who we know can coach defense. They've got rid of their president and GM. They seem to be going in the right direction. We'll see what these other teams that need coaches do, but I like what I'm starting to see out of the Redskins, which is a weird thing to say.
It is very weird because we were having the debate up here in Detroit on the radio today, and they were asking, would you rather be a Redskins fan or a Lions fan? And it killed me inside that with the hiring of Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, that I'd rather be a Redskins fan right now.
I would say today, yes, but in the last decade or two, probably not. I mean,
What do you mean?
At least you got to see Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford, a future Hall of Famer.
What,
Like-
make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Do
Look
the
at the
Redskins not have more playoff wins than the Lions? I mean, all they have to have is one.
Yeah, but
Literally
still got-
one.
You still got to see
Nathaniel,
greatness.
one.
Calvin Johnson.
One
The guy-
playoff win.
Greatness.
One
Yeah,
playoff
It's not
win.
good. It's shitty regardless of what you're
You have
picking.
zero.
It's like
You have zero.
It's like saying, would you like to be in the back end or the middle end of what was that movie where they're all stitched to each other's butts?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What was that movie? Oh wow, bad reference. Good radio. People who know what I'm talking about are gonna laugh at that hysterically. It's just so fun. Yeah, it's a bad deal regardless. I mean, you're picking two of the shittiest organizations. I don't have much room to talk as a Bucs fan. We haven't made the playoffs in 11 years, but it's no good regardless. Where are
Yeah,
you
it's
at
rough.
with Patricia?
I'm done with him. I've been done with him since the moment they started losing this year. Once they started losing this year, I don't even care about Matt Patricia anymore. It's all on Bob Quinn. Bob Quinn is
Human
tied to
centipede, that's
Matt
what it was.
Patricia.
The human centipede.
Uh,
I just Google searched people stitched to each other. Human
good,
centipede.
good work.
Like asking if you want to be in the middle or the end. There's no good answer.
No. I've been done with Bob Quinn for a while now. I mean, the way he put together the roster and the way his moves just seem like they're not thought out at all. I mean, trading Quandre Diggs and watching him go light it up in Seattle, when you just handed him a contract extension and named him team captain to go ahead and flip him in the middle of the year is just ridiculous. Like, what do you want him to do as a team captain? Sit down and shut up? Like, he was one of the leaders in the locker room who was standing up to the coaching staff because the defense clearly doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, watch our games. I
bad.
could be wrong, but don't quote me on this. But at least in 90% of our games this year, we had the lead and we've lost. We went 3-12-1. 3-12-1 after having the lead in every game this year.
It is not good. It's a bad situation, I would say. And it is shockingly bad because Matt Patricia, you would think, would have maybe not a great defense because there is somewhat of a talent gap there, but a half-confident one. And you're right, in the second half, they look lost almost every game on defense, which is the one area you would want to say, okay, we don't necessarily look out of place. It's just there's an obvious lack of talent. Where there was times where it was just the matchups were terrible defensively, and he wasn't putting the team in a spot to be competitive defensively, especially in the second half of games, which is concerning.
Right. It has made no sense. We have two middle linebackers that couldn't cover a left tackle on a pass play.
Yeah, it's not
left
good.
tackle's pass block.
Yeah, it's
unless
not
you're
good.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, also true. I would say Bob Quinn should probably go, and Dorsey would be a heck of a hire. He's a hell of a
I would
football.
love that right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if you do that in the next 2 years, you're looking at a little bit of a better Lions team.
You have gotten me excited for something that I know will never happen.
Probably. Hey, he's a Midwest guy. He's apparently loves the Midwest. He's Packers, Chiefs, Cleveland. I mean, there's a shot, right?
I don't think the Ford family has ever fired somebody a day in their life. I'm not convinced of it yet.
Also very true. Well, we can't spend all day on it because we got some things to talk about. We still got the playoffs to talk about here because we are going to give out some picks. We're going to talk about the 4 games. But first, the annual love affair that we all have with the Rose Bowl yesterday was glorious. I have to say, I don't know if I've seen something cooler during the Rose Bowl than the sunset reflecting off the Oregon helmets. That made me hard.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Awesome game, too. Awesome game. It sucks that there had to be another, kind of the theme of today could be the more things change, the more they stay the same, and college football refs having no fucking clue what's going on. I don't agree with that call at the end of the game. It's so bad, too, if you're paying attention to, was when the call was initially made, they thought it was being called for a pick play. That's how bad it was communicated and just how it was clearly not a penalty. And then what happened is as soon as the ref came on, he was saying it was more pass interference than a pick play, which then the argument switched to like, oh, yeah, I could see that. Stop holding their water. That is an absolute joke of a call in an extremely, tense moment. Like, that sealed the game. There was a chance that Wisconsin could go the length of the field there and score. We got robbed of that, though. Not to say, and I am a big believer that you can't blame the refs on everything, because Wisconsin had their chances. Don't have that fuck up with the punt and you're fine. Act like you've been here before. Because you have. This is the most consistent thing Wisconsin's ever done. But it stinks that moment was robbed from us. Oregon, though, that was the team. Oregon was the team that I don't think they would have put up they would have put up a better fight against LSU. They wouldn't have won. But that was a team that everybody thought could be the playoff team that showed up, unfortunately, at the wrong times this year. But it was a hell of a game.
It was a hell of a game, and I'll be honest, I saw the catch. I was watching the Rose Bowl. I was tuned in. I saw the catch, and then I just looked down at my phone when they threw the penalty flag, and I listened to the ref's explanation, or listened to the announcer's explanation. Just was like, okay, whatever. He had to spin off of him. He couldn't extend his arms. And then I watched it today finally because I just didn't watch any of the replays while it was on TV. And I watched it today. I was like, what the hell were they talking about when they were trying to explain it? It made no sense to me. He barely even had his arms. He literally just ran a route, disengaged, and was open.
It was dumb. Dumb. No way you cut it. Dumb. It was a bad call. I don't care if they say it's the right call. It's a bad call. Just like the Ohio, which worked in my favor.
Just like the Ohio State one.
But the Ohio State catch, that was a bad call. In no way, shape, or form does any person in America look at that and go, yeah, that wasn't a catch. Not a single soul.
Except for the random ref that comes on the TV that says, "Oh yeah, I really don't think we have a catch here." What do you mean we don't have a catch? He took 3 steps.
Yeah.
What do you need a football? Well, I'd like to see him turn upfield a little bit. How's he gonna turn upfield? He's getting pushed backwards.
Yeah, the DB did their job. They played great defense. They were in position to make sure they couldn't turn up the field to make a play.
Exactly.
He still made the catch though. That is. we have a real problem, and it's something we can probably talk endlessly about in the offseason because we do have some other things to talk about. But officiating is a problem when there are plays universally accepted by everybody watching that should go the opposite way than the officials are. And this isn't like ignorant football fans, because you do have that where like there are calls you're like, no, that was a good one if you actually understand or if you know football, like the rules. But everybody universally curb treat every single person. I don't know what a catch is anymore if that isn't a catch.
Right.
That's a problem.
It makes no sense. When you don't know what a catch is in a game that is predominantly catching the football,
more and more so.
What do we have?
Yeah, it is rough. There are some changes. And here's the thing, too. Officials make mistakes. Just like you make mistakes, I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes in their daily lives, at their jobs. Nobody is perfect. But there is a level of, with review, that you should be able to get these big moments where these things really do matter right. Like we can remove so much of the errors.
Right, and how do you overturn that play too? Like that's not even that's the other story. It's not even just the call on the field stands or the call on the field. Like the call on the field had to get overturned for it to be a fumble. And then the ref coming on and saying, well, if you speed it up into real play, then it looks kind of like he didn't have time to make a play. Well, there was a ref standing there looking right at the guy, watching the whole thing go down, and he said it was a fumble.
Yep. And that's what makes this worse too, and kind of the point is we have replay to kind of eliminate some of these errors, and it's not doing it. Like it's consistently not doing it in very obvious situations. Now I will say, and I said it on Tuesday, I'm going to say it again because I think it should be said. I am very thankful though that the refs got it through their brains that they don't call the play dead and they allowed it to play out to then go to review. Every official in America should be doing that. If there is even a half a question of a potential fumble, millisecond of a question, don't call it dead. Let it go to review, and then we can get on the review people for fucking it up because they did mess that up. But I am happy that they at least didn't call that dead. That is, we're making some progress. We take one step forward, 2 steps back. We'll eventually get there.
We are making some progress in that, but replay has gotten so ridiculous that I'm about done with it. I think there should be no replay. I'm one of those old guys right now.
Fair. Well, I don't know if I like that, because then we're going to get to a place where I'm literally breaking TVs over there not being replayed for something stupid. But I agree, it needs to be fixed a little bit here.
But I don't care. Then there's still at least arguments. Like then there's the human error of what gets called on the field, not like all these breaks and commercials and all this other shit that you have to deal with.
You know what I haven't understood why people haven't done it? It got brought up with the spot in that Wisconsin game, which was also an atrociously bad spot. Why haven't we chipped the balls yet?
I don't know.
Like, that feels obvious, right? Like I feel like we should be able to do something that doesn't affect the ball inside it to chip it to see if it crosses the goal line or crosses the first down marker. Like, we have all these cameras. Is that not a cheaper, more efficient way to do it, I would assume?
You would think, but in football there's so many different variables with, like, the knee down, the knee not down, and that's what really causes it. I mean, you never really know. I mean, you can chip the ball, but how do you know when the runner's down and when the runner's not down? A chip in the ball doesn't do anything to help that.
I feel like the chip in the ball will be there for just like spotting things. Like you still have the element of like, no, so he's down. I don't know. I just feel like
that'll cause way more arguments because then you'll have way too many more people analyzing this stuff way too much. Like, God, I can only imagine what the still shots and the other stupid stuff that would be going around Twitter.
All right. Well, I don't want to die on that hill because we do have some things to talk about. But I'm just saying, let's think about this offseason. We can talk more about chips in the ball later. We got some games here. As things change, they stay the same. Houston Texans are playing a Saturday game. Go figure. We got Texans Bills. Lines at 3. Texans are the favorite. Over under 45. What do you have here for me, Tim?
Me, I like the Texans in this game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it. I wish so bad Buffalo. The game was playing in Buffalo, though. I feel like screw the seeding system. The NFC East shouldn't get a home game, and the Buffalo Bills should get a home game because I know they're not playing. Texans aren't in the NFC East. It's just another point to the side. But the Buffalo. Oh, could you imagine if that game was in Buffalo?
No. Buffalo with a playoff game.
Oh. Be so good.
Saturday at 4:30, like a whole Saturday to get rowdy for a football game, and
Yeah,
not
Buffalo
have to wake up
survive.
for work on the next day because it's not a Sunday.
Buffalo would not survive. The
They'd
city
die.
would burn. Yeah, it would die off. We would have no more Buffalo.
No.
We have to think
No.
about the future. The kids, Tim. The
Yes,
kids.
the kids. That's why there's no game in Buffalo. Not the seating. There's no game in Buffalo because they would all die.
Fair. Here's the thing. I don't know if I trust the Texans. The Texans are like the same team they always are, where they play on they play the Saturday wild card. They're not playing the Bengals this time, so they're probably not going to win. But I don't know. Buffalo's tricky because they play just really good defense, and the offense can be spotty. Josh Allen, though, has been playing better. I don't know if I fully trust the Texans because they're a team that has never earned my full trust, to really be honest.
Well, Nate, I will say that I picked the Texans solely on just saying the Texans, and you've fully talked me into the Bills.
Well, here's the other thing, too, because I had to just look it up to confirm because like, last I checked, I don't think he's playing. Will Fuller is a game-time decision.
Ooh.
He's got
That
a
could be
hamstring
big.
issue. Yeah, that offense does not work. DeAndre Hopkins is amazing wide receiver. Let's not kid anybody here. That man is a freak. But the offense has shown to be sluggish when they don't have that over-the-top threat like Will Fuller is. It does not perform as well without him. Now, J.J. Watt practiced this week, so he's probably playing. But Fuller is a game-time decision. I think that makes me lean towards Bills. I think I'm going to hold off until the day of to put in anything on this one. But I like the Bills initially because if Will Fuller isn't playing, there's no way I'm taking the Texans. I don't trust them.
Fair.
I trust Josh Allen in that cannon of an arm better than I trust a shaky offensive line with not a great pass game. Still a good pass game, but I just don't know. I don't feel like I trust them. Here's a team that I don't know if you trust or not, unless you have another thought before I move on.
Nope.
Titans, Patriots. Titans are like the hottest team in football right now.
They are.
Patriots, I don't know if we trust that offense. 4.5 is the line. Patriots are the favorites. It is in Foxborough. Over-under 44.5. Here's the thing with the Titans.
Oh,
What?
sorry.
Oh, I was going to say.
I thought you said the over. You said the over/under was 44.5.
Yeah, 44.5.
Okay.
Yeah. The line is 4.5.
I was gonna say I was looking at the line and I heard 44.5. I didn't hear I wasn't expecting you to say the over/under.
Nobody wants to tackle Derrick Henry this late in the season, but the Patriots are used to playing in the cold. It is one of the greatest home field advantages in all of sports. How are we feeling here? Because I don't know.
The only reason I am taking the Patriots is because you never win money betting against the Patriots.
This is true. The theme of today is the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Patriots are, and I don't want to hear the Max Kelmans of the world who say this every year, be like, oh, I told you so if they lose this game. But I do think you are starting to see the aging and the wheels start to fall off. But I still think there is some magic left in that bottle, and I don't think they are a first-round exit. I do think a game in Foxborough with that experience, with that defense who had a wake-up call very early on Monday after losing to the Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Things are going to be rolling this week. I think it's going to be a super competitive game because the Titans are hot. But I do think there is some juice left. There is some magic left in that bottle. And I think the Patriots get the win here. I don't know about the betting line. I might take the Titans because I could see this being a field goal game. So we'll see. But it is – I got Patriots win outright. I think I feel better about the under-over. I think I feel better about the under at 44, even though it's a low under. I think this is a defensive showout, and a defensive showout on the Pat side, an offense that's struggling and on the Pat side as well. So I think I take the under on this, but I like Pats to win.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I lean more towards the Patriots because you've seen it so many times where they look down and count it out, and then all of a sudden they just blow the wheels off somebody. And I feel like this would be that game. Even though the Titans are really hot, I mean,
Really hot.
they're going to do it
Henry is
early.
balling out.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like for those, because I think he was the best kept secret almost for a little bit there. He is a certified baller when it comes to, I mean, he is killing it. And Tannehill's playing himself into millions of dollars right now, so he's playing with house money. The Titans are playing with house money at this point. But I'm with you. I just think the Patriots, Bill Belichick, you can't go against them until they're actually dead. We have to see them die to go against them. It's the same thing with Alabama. We have to see them die before we can go against them.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen that yet. So
Nope.
in no way, shape, or form am I probably betting against them, but I like the over-under a little bit better.
Okay.
Here's a team that I know for sure you don't bet against. The Saints and the Vikings. You don't bet against whoever's playing the Vikings in a primetime, meaningful game.
Bet on.
Yeah, bet on, sir. Kirk Cousins is coming out and showing his stuff, as he did in the primetime game on Monday. Cook's holding oxygen masks up to his ear. Who knows where we are with him? It is a big line at 8, but it's in the Thunderdome. Saints, I think, here are the clear, obvious choice. I don't see a way the Vikings finish this off and keep it close or win this game, to be honest. I feel like the Saints, if the Titans are the hottest team, the Saints are definitely the hottest team right now. I feel like they just roll them here. Am I wrong for thinking that?
No, I think the Saints roll him here. I don't think Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins chokes some big moments, and that's going to continue.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much where I'm at. And Cook's banged up. I think Zimmer is a phenomenal coach, but in the NFL, windows close extremely quickly. I think the Vikings window is closing extremely quickly. We'll see. But you don't have a solution at quarterback. You've paid him a ton of money. He's kind of the linchpin that's going to make this team good or not. So you're going to have to start over at that position. And anybody that's starting over at that position, it generally doesn't go great. Because if you're a good quarterback, you get retained by your team. Or you get drafted. So it's tough. It's tough to have some patchwork in free agency. Because they're all too good to draft a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. They're going to be at the end of the draft, so there's no draft picks available for them.
Their best bet is if like somebody like Tua or a quarterback that gets hurt falls to them, and then you say, screw it, let's just draft this guy and see what happens. Because you still got Kirk, so you still know you're going to win enough games to save your job, but you're not going to win enough games to go to the Super Bowl or do anything meaningful.
Right.
So yeah, I think or you get lucky and you just keep drafting guys late and you eventually hit. Because eventually somebody will hit. Might be 40 years from now, but somebody will hit.
Right.
So we'll see. I got Saints though. I'm taking the 8. It's a big one, but I mean, there's no way you're talking me into taking Cousins on that.
Mm-mm.
Last game, Seahawks Eagles. I love this game so much. I love this because I'm taking the Seahawks. But am I crazy for like consistently thinking like, oh, all it takes is just one moment and the Eagles can catch lightning in a bottle and make a run here? Because I always feel like
because that's how I feel right now.
Like they can just catch lightning.
And I'm taking the Eagles in this game because I feel like they've caught lightning in a bottle. I think Carson Wentz has just been playing his ass off the last couple of weeks, and it's just been incredible.
It is impressive. I don't know if Carson Wentz, I feel like he's a good quarterback because there are throws he makes where you go, holy shit, how did he do that?
Mm-hmm.
And then he makes other plays where you're like, who is this guy? Why is he on the field? He's done it with nobody. Like, he has done it with absolutely nobody at points in the season. Last week, their 2 wide receivers weren't on NFL rosters to start the year. He has done it with patchwork. He is the handyman we all know who just duct tapes everything and makes it work. Like, he's working with duct tape and bubble gum right now, and yet this plane is still flying. This bird is still going. The problem is Russell Wilson is 5-0 against the Eagles in their last 5 games. He is playing electric football. They are away from home, which I don't like as much. But I feel like there's some magic with Russell Wilson that you can't go away from. I don't love this game, actually. The more I think about it, the more I talk about it, I'm sort of talking myself out of it. I might not take any action on it. We'll see. I think the over is probably a better bet at 45.5. But, no, screw that. I think the Eagles win. The Eagles are going to win this game.
Oh, you started out with the Seahawks and you flipped all the way to the Eagles?
Sorry, not the Eagles. The Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to win this game.
Yeah, no.
I've got Russell. Take Russell. I'm taking the electric man himself, concussion water, Russell Wilson, to win this game.
Concussion water. Oh,
I mean,
what a line that was.
man around town. Yeah, no, I think I'm not going to be surprised if the Eagles win here, as I said, but I think the safe money's Saints here because it's Russell Wilson. I mean, what else do you want to know? Now, if it comes down to the goal line and you bet the Seahawks, I'm sorry for you. We're all sorry because the goal line still stays undefeated against Pete Carroll. But, I mean, I just think
a lot of things stay undefeated against Pete Carroll. If it comes down to a close game, I mean, that game against the 49ers.
That's what I'm talking about.
Pete,
I don't the delay of game.
What the hell were you thinking?
And the Butler pick 2 years or a couple years with the Super Bowl. It's like the man he sees the goal line and he gets the Sunday scaries.
It's like, oh, what do I do here? You hand it to Marshawn Lynch just like you did in the last.
You don't take the delay of game like you're playing Pee-wee football and you haven't told the team what to do in the situation.
Yeah, right.
Something you see a bunch of 8-year-olds do in the Pee-wee game, not
right.
on NFL primetime with Russell Wilson, an MVP candidate, like in a team that's been to the Super Bowl and one of the best run organizations in all of sports. Well, maybe not all of sports, but in football, for certainly they're one of the best well-run organizations. It was staggering that they haven't figured that out.
Coordinator calls down, Pete, we're going to Marshawn here, right? Pete, is this thing on? Pete, hello.
Hell, the coordinator's not calling down. I forgot. Schottenheimer's on the sidelines.
Well,
he's right down there.
Maybe not.
Obviously,
and I really don't know.
I always forget. It's a fun little treat every Sunday when I see their sideline and go, oh, Schottenheimer's on that team. Good for him for finding a job somewhere. I don't think he's that good, but every Sunday I surprise myself when I see him out there. Oh, good for Schottenheimer. He's still coaching in the league. Wow. Every time.
Good for him.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing this week. I will say I do also hate, though. Can we talk about this for a second before we wrap this up? This could be the final thought.
Why on Sunday do we have a 105 game and a 440 game? Why are we not playing in prime time? This is America, damn it. Like, football is king. Why is there not an 8 o'clock game on a Sunday?
It makes no sense to me why they do this every year.
No sense. I don't understand it. What is going on? Is there some giant event on Sunday that I'm not aware of that prevents it on NBC? Like, who does NBC have on Sunday night?
It's NBC. Nobody watches NBC anyways.
Yeah, like, what are we doing here, people? Why do we not have a primetime game of the NFL on Sunday night in playoffs, too?
It's wild.
I've never understood that. Like, what is going on at NBC at night? Like, I'm going to look this up just right now. We're going to give it a good old Google here on Sunday night. What is going to be on Sunday night? Do you want to take any guess? I bet you it's some dumb award show. Are the Grammys up or something?
I have no earthly idea. American Ninja Warrior. That's my guess.
Sunday. Oh, wait. No, that's 8 a.m. I was like, wait, what?
PM.
Golden Globes. Golden Globes are on. Awesome.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
They get bumped for the NFL?
Yeah.
The hell is this?
Dumb. I don't care about the Golden Globes. All right. That was it. That I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to be up all night thinking about that.
Why are they playing a 4:30 game on Saturday? This should be easy, right? You have an 8 p.m. game Saturday night. You have a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, and an 8 o'clock game on Sunday. Just like we're all used to.
Would not hate
Dumb
that
football
either.
brain. Let's go.
Would not hate that either. NFL. What are we? I need to buy the NFL. Just all the NFL.
What are you doing?
Yeah, wish you could do that. All right, that's it. This is dumb. We're wrapping this up before we get even angrier about this. All right, people.
All right.
We'll be back next week, as always.
Peace. Oh, and
Peace.
enjoy this because we are entering into the dark time. So soak it all in while we can.
Peace.
Peace.